everyone. I'm so glad I'm here. I'm so glad you're here. Thank you so much. Oh my gosh, guys. Of course I wasn't gonna leave you hanging at all. I'm like, it's definitely Year of the Fire Horse. Everything is like, there's so much to be done, and I was so I'm very much just kind of in my booked and busy era. So I really thank you guys so much for being here. I go by the Holy Cow. Obviously you know who you are, per the title. Basically the way that this framework goes with the Zodiac series here on the channel is I basically have the remaining Zodiac signs in my hand that have not been recorded. They're just folded up. The reason I do this is because I would like for people to understand that there's integrity in this being a live production and like a channeled word. So I really don't have like a pre-made agenda. So I'll just pick a sign and then we'll have God go ahead and open up for that archetype specific. So again, thank you guys for being here. I really hope you have water or something. I'm gonna take a little water, ice, whatever, be comfortable. You don't need anything to receive the channel download. We are kind of just doing this was inspired by this huge sort of parading of Aries energy that's happening celestially right now. So I didn't want to not record, but it isn't necessarily like a month overview. I think it's kind of like a timeless reading. So April 2026 is just so much evolution and so much moving and change. So I'm just excited to be here. Let's see. Okay. Thank you guys for just letting me be a human every time I do this podcast. I've always really challenged myself to make each and every one of these present moments like the best message I can. I love doing the Zodiac series for me because it allows me to do what I think is at the root of my filmmaking, which is connecting deeply with the humans that I engage in my real life. And you know, that's kind of the ethos and a lot of the things that you might take away from this. Like I think part of the public speaking that's really tapped in here is the ability to make a collective feel like sort of an exclusivity. So maybe that's like a opening message. I just want to thank you guys for allowing me to be, I think whoever this sign is, I don't even know who you are yet, but I feel like God is trying to gift me your energy, and you really appreciate the exclusivity of like being very discerning, like how maybe even in the framework of like what you get out of the Zodiac series, or just the work that I do in general, like me kind of, you know, assessing the need that people kind of need, that intimacy, you know, they kind of need the freakazoid who doesn't have social cues, who's trying to just help them, you know, with the deep stuff, you know. And I'm humbled that I get to be here. And you know, a lot of times sometimes I can come to this space and I can just think to myself like, you know, there's so much expectation on me because I always walk with this sort of weight of everything that my words will cause. And so when you can hold that expansion before the conception, can be stifling at times. And so I am so grateful because somehow being exactly in what I am is always the exact formula and educational tool for you all. So I am just honored to be an online teacher for the souls that I get to connect to. So let's see who you are. It's so nice to be anonymous and not even know who you are. I think that's another thing with you. It's like, I feel like I just wanted to say that. I was like, I feel like you're the type of energy where it's like, maybe it's like a familiarity. Like that's maybe the quality of like your energy, but it's just like relying on that. Like when you're maybe at your most exhausted, or when you're just kind of like, this is just me as I am, and the feeling or the way that familiarity can fill you up, the being seen. And so I feel like, because I was just saying, it's like I didn't even know who you are until now, so I don't know. So anyways, let's see who we've got next. The suspense is kind of killing me right now because I don't know. Oh my god, what? Who is this? What? Who? It's like hard to open. Who is it? Capricorn.
Well, I feel like right before you opened it, it like fell. I was like, it's about to be
And Capricorn's got their dick out right now. That was a total surprise. I did not expect that. Total surprise, did not expect. So Capricorns, I will show you guys the confirmation. Capricorns, I love you guys. You know that. We're here, we're together. Maybe that's why I felt really safe to drop into like real Alexis. So maybe like Capricorns, I just need to let you know, like, thank you guys so much because you guys saw real Alexis before anyone else did. and you backed me up and you put your investment in me, and I'm only here today with all these new humans that I love and I'm excited for, but nothing compares to the loyalty that you guys have shown me and the way that your total acceptance and total clarity on who I was and what you were looking at has changed everything for me. And I just wish nothing but blessings for this entire collective, because the entrepreneurial route is like one of many routes that I could have gone, and I'm just grateful that you guys have convinced me of why my energy would be so fruitful in that space, because I really needed a lot of convincing, and I think it was because of you. So thank you, Capricorn, for telling me that I had some sort of standard that I was setting and that I should care more about being a standard. So thank you so much. I don't know why I'm getting emotional, Capricorn, so just, you guys mean a lot to me. So I really wouldn't have had, just want you guys to know, like, you guys walk with people. You walk with people. It doesn't even have to be like people you love or people you know or people who you can get something for. You will walk with anyone, and I just need you to know how much, like, right now, like, that's a big investment. Like, your energy is such a big investment in others. So I owe a lot. I just feel that. I feel like some people owe you a lot. They owe you a lot because in a weird way you saved the day, and I don't know if anybody is giving you any credit for that. I don't know if the reality that, if it's okay for us to just be like, Capricorn totally saved this whole reality, like we wouldn't have even had a future, because I feel like there was something that you had to do in the past that you had to take on the chin and that you did, and it's like you knew the whole time, you were like, nobody's doing their part, I'm the only one doing my part, I'm doing my part. My part is so big that I play that it could save a lot of people, but also people were hating you while you were building your part the whole time and destroying it while you were doing it, and you were like, okay, so we have no alternatives, you girls aren't contributing anything, but you're very sure about how much you don't like me and how much you don't want me. I'm just completely channeling, like, this is what I'm feeling. But then it's like, now we're in the future, and it's like Capricorn's idea saved us all, and now what do we owe Capricorn? You know, so what do we do about that? Because I felt that. So if there's any part of what I do that you feel has a bigness to it, it's you. Like, it was 100% recognizing the patterns of a Capricorn, and I owe you so much more, because I couldn't have had that step that I really needed. Capricorn has always opened the door for me, so thank you. Thank you. Real ass motherfuckers. It's like, y'all's loyalty is like, Jesus Christ. It's fucking, y'all are real fucking friends, dude. Like, it feels good to have a real fucking friend. Like, ride with me through this shit, man. Like, it's not about nothing that I achieve intellectually. It's not even about anything I could reach spiritually. To walk with a friend is all my inner child needed when she was abandoned. So thank you. Seriously. Just thank you, seriously, because it is deserved for you to be recognized for the presence you bring to the space. I'm sorry that I haven't even done your reading, and this may not read as very professional for you, but I just feel like I just had an internal time. I don't know, I just like felt the need, like, and you know, and with this Aries, I feel like Aries is trying to stop abuse, and so I just feel like, you know, felt like maybe my part is just talking about, I was like, I really care about the ways that the world hurts you, Capricorn. I really do. But there are so many people in your life that you have not heard enough from them that we wouldn't even have a grounded reality if it wasn't for you and what you've done. So, you know, or whatever this message is about to be about, you need to know that from God. And that's how God feels about you. The way that I'm crying about you, God is like, thank you, Capricorn, for your obedience. And for the times where you didn't even understand what was going on, but it's just your character to be that kind of, it's like Capricorns are so honest. It's like so funny because I was doing your eclipse, and right now Cancer's really getting called out for the issue with the lie, right? And then there's Capricorn, who I feel like right now you've been telling the truth. You are the truth. Like, I feel like that's what your reading's gonna be called, Capricorn. I don't know. I think you're gonna be crying like me very shortly because you actually are the truth, and I don't think you understand. I don't think you understood what God meant when they said you are the truth, because your life, it's you, Capricorn. This isn't a tower that's because you're not enough anymore. All of that hardship in the past was because of who you actually are, not because you weren't good enough, not because you were flawed. You were already distinguished. You were already achieving more than the average person was. So you got more on your plate because you were given more by God. So just know that. Ooh, this is gonna be a big one, Caps. So buckle up. I can already feel it. Thank you, Spirit. April 2026 for my loves. Oh, Capricorn, you just live. Your energy just brought. I'm so with you guys in this. Whatever it is, I'm with you. This feels like a deep exhalation after just thankless work. Oh my God. Oh my God, that is so freaky. I said after just thankless work. Capricorn, are you ready? Are you ready? Remember how you were fucking lapping everybody? Lapping everybody? You've been building new world infrastructure in everybody's face, doing it. 8-8, my husband, this is messages from God to you. 8-8, you just dropped 88. 88 changes everything. 8-8, 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands. Did I not just say before those cards came out? You've just been working and working and working and working. Thankless work. This is thankless work. There's something right now being exalted about the this is fucking thankless work. This is somebody who is going hard and just keeps doing it before they see anything of a Capricorn. You need to understand that I am channeling the word of God directly to you right now. You have done doing something where you literally have just been fucking doing the Capricorn thing. It's like only you just don't even need the audience. Capricorn, do you understand what's about to happen to you? Do you understand what the fuck is about to happen to you? Because I'm here to validate you were in a mental hellscape while you were building this, because you were being asked to drive forward on this, and you're not even going to kind of get a proportionate response to it. That's why that's why God asked you to surrender the response and don't even worry about anything. It's you and your sacred call. It's you and your sacred gift. You, from childhood, in your childhood, you came here like a motor, and no matter what environment you were, everyone knows this was you. You were the one who got out of the mud. You were the one who went somewhere. You were the one who everyone knows left town and never came back and made something. That's who you are. But you want to know how you want to know what your legacy is? I told my husband this. I said, Dennis, your legacy, this is literally what these two cards are. Your legacy will be that you were the man who never didn't do the club. You're going to be that man. I'm snotty and I'm crying. It's crazy right now. Capricorn, this is something that you did that you didn't give a fuck about what anybody else said. I also feel like this is the true underdog's story. There is something that was not just magically you knew you were creating. I think there's a lot of this whatever in the past, because Cancer's getting called a liar right now. So then across the ecliptic Capricorn, you know what I mean, was the person who got lied on. So I feel like the situation is like this. It's like Cancer's really the Capricorn's really the one who got lied on. Straight up is what it's giving right now. Because I feel like that's what's happening with mother and father. Mom is actually the villain. Dad was lied on, and therefore became a villain because he keeps being lied on. Like he's like, so that's you right now. You're kind of like divine father. That's like, I wasn't even really the bad guy. I just obviously was being gendered as like the, you know what I mean? But it's a crazy frequency, because I'm just getting, you had the craziest experience. This is somebody who is hated all the way through it. How could you be building 8 pentacles and wands was what you were, I'm talking to some artists out there. Capricorn, you need to understand, you're medium. They hated the way you do what you do. There's something about how you do what you do. They gave you hell about it. Because I'm just getting, it's like a needle and thread. It's something you stitch together. It's something only you, Capricorn, can weave together. Look at you. All these needles. It's like, this is someone who's, look at this. This is literally like a seamstress. I'm literally channeling my husband's grandmother. She's like a divine seamstress, but I'm literally channeling Velma right now. She's talking to me about this. It's like many of you have inherited this sort of needle and thread, like building something. It's like you're Capricorn, you built something. There was something you just drove. It's like you won't even realize, but when you look back at your life, this is what God wants you to understand. When you look back at your life, this cycle that you're in, this chapter of your life right now, where what you built, you won't, for the rest of your life, this will be feeding you, because you have no idea what you even have been doing. You may know, like, oh, my business, is going viral. I was making it in the social media market, or I was able to stay afloat, or I was able to pay my bills by this and this and that. No. right now, Capricorn, if you feel suspended in thin air, it is absolutely 1000% got to do with the fact that, like, you had two materials, okay? You got your spiritual wands and your creative ability, and you have your manifesting ability, your ability to work with Earth's materials. And you are the innovator. You're the divine feminine energy that's like, I know I can alchemize with this too. This is someone alchemizing with these two. And the third component that helped you, the needle to your thread that was gonna make your outfit later, the Eight of Pentacles, is actually all the anxiety. It's so funny because I was writing some prose today. There's a lot of things that were flowing out today that people needed to understand, but a lot of that was actually talking about how, like, for a lot of people right now, you really need to tap in with this. I'm sorry for the distraction of my nostrils, like, I'm snotty and right, but you need to be tapping in at this time to let's see who's escaping me. It doesn't matter. But anyways, let's just move forward. So all of that emotion, I just feel like I was crying because I just feel like this is thankless. And I know my husband is a Capricorn, and so obviously, like, that plight and narrative is really dominant. Like, I have a lot of empathy for the archetype, obviously. It's the container of my family's identity. The morning stars it's held by my husband's contribution as the devil archetype, and the star is obviously coming from my archetype. So it's like, the morning stars are comprised of these two archetypes, Capricorn and Aquarius. And so for me, obviously, I'm gonna really know and really feel some type of way. But I just think of my husband as, the worst part, the biggest travesty for him is not even the lack of resources or this or that, but it's rather that his impact is he really runs the future of music, and people don't know that. That's not something that someone told me. It's not because I'm evaluating how good the albums are. It's a call on his life. He was called to. In fact, he doesn't even think he does a good job at it because it's a calling. So it's calling you out of it. It's calling you out to do it and complete it. It's not something that when you feel your calling or when you feel your purpose, it's work that you have to rise to. So all of us are always just going to be trying to reach what God would deem as a proficient, like, display of your gift. But with my husband, I think it's always so sad because there's so much of, like, the violence comes from the fact that, like, people don't know him at all. There's like, or even just that sense of, like, they don't know, and not the music or not hearing it or whatever. They don't know. You have to know who this person is, because the way that you would approach him, like an artist like Dennis, is that you have to understand this is a soul that anyone would want to hear what they contribute. It's not coming from some unique, like, oh my God, this person juggles really well, there's nobody else who does that, that's why we came to them. It's like the opposite of that. It's like, this is an insane, energetic, we'd like to see them shit, fart, eat, dance, clap, sing, poop. So I always tell my husband, you don't gotta be too precious about pretty much anything you do artistically, because you are one of those artists where it's actually the you. And any artist can benefit from that, but there are some artists where, like, the reason people are looking at you is because, like, what you do is unique. And Dennis is very unique, where it's like, no, you're the guy. It's like, you're one of those people where it's like the art is the you thing. Your art is like the fact that you did the thing. You're doing the medicine man thing right now. And so the music is a holding space for that. The videos, the film, the photos, all the things that he does artistically, the graphic design, like, those are really not even what it is with him. It really is, because I think the biggest artistic project that my husband is committed to since he's been an artist, in this life, is the work he's done on himself. He didn't wait for permission. Nobody told him to go work on him. No. The man that he is today, Capricorn, the person that you are today, is 100%. You just were focused on getting to where you wanted to be. And I know it seems like you're always in the present moment thinking about, like, now. But I really was. Today I told my husband, I was like, baby, I don't want you to do anything. I don't want you to do anything today. I need you to take some time to reflect. He didn't ask for it. He wasn't even burnt out. Nothing like that. I said, no, I need you to take today. Go, just you process whatever you feel like you have time right now. We are good. We're always overworking. We're always overtime. So you're so good. The most important thing that you can do during this cardinal shift, that's going to change the course of your life, is just reflect on what the journey has been doing it this way. Because there's highs and lows. There's highs and lows for every path, okay? And I know how, I think it's hard for you because with this path, it was like the lows, you had to go into the lows to extract the highs, Capricorn. You had to, it's almost like God being like, okay, your fortune is sourced in this traumatic ass experience. Or this, like, this Nine Swords, this deeply initiating experience. And you may not have understood why you had to go through that Nine of Swords experience, the thing that was just like, this is spiritually initiating as fuck. This sucks. This is like shredding my ego to bits. Like, okay, thanks God. But now you find yourself somewhere meandering in the ether doing this, stitching the fabric of a new reality together, guys. Okay. What? I'm here, let it all work out. That's what you're on, brother. You niggas. And another thing, since the fake comedians are gone now, I'm telling you, since cancers are all Capricorns are the funny ones now. Congratulations. Congratulations to you. You're the funny ones now. Because you're the only ones with like source material to like make a bit about. The thing about the liars is they ran out of plot. They've been lying about life, so there's nothing, what joke you gonna make now? Capricorn's like, I've been really fucking thugging it out. I got some fucking stories to tell you. So your shit's just funny as hell because you actually have all this nuanced life. It's just funny as fuck. So you're funny for no fucking reason. That's great, Capricorn. Side note. Also, Capricorn, yeah, I want to let you know something. So there is something that might feel a little intense right now, because more so just because it's uncomfortable. You are being told you're not going back to a work identity. There was a way that you used to make independence. You're realizing now, like, wait, you kind of almost feel barred off, but it's because it's a bigger deal. You're putting that to rest. So there's something that actually, what I'm seeing as Capricorn is when you try to go for independence, it actually makes you really destabilized. Because you're a divine feminine principle, which means you represent a sourcing energy, but you also are deeply devoted to source. So your divine feminine nature is like, this is not me. This is, remember we talked about this Capricorn like a year and a half ago with you, where it was like, the fucking you guys are not fucking breadwinner, fucking go out and work. You're like, my husband's seeing it. It's like shifting because he was realizing today that it was nothing but a giant blessing because he's been released. He used to have to show up like this, Brokeback Mountain. This is basically like abusing the feminine. This is the feminine Capricorn. Okay, we have an even deeper message. Okay, many of you Capricorns, your divine feminine in your childhood, everyone has a divine feminine. So your divine feminine in your childhood was the roles were taught reversed. So we talked about the sickness of how parents in certain generations were going to be raising their kids to think masculine is feminine and feminine are masculine principles in definition. So like yin and yang are being taught as opposite. So that's what the problem was. So the way that it looks like you were putting an output that wasn't giving you feedback is what I was getting. And the reason for it was because you were using your feminine to execute the masculine job, and your masculine within was trying to do the feminine job, because that's how you were raised, literally is what I'm hearing, to do it. So it looks like a lot of you are grown now, right? Let's say, and so maybe you're in your work life, you're trying to do something like this, like stitch something together. And maybe the reason it's because I just felt profound. I feel like everyone always knew who you were, because it was like almost like you felt like, I feel like Capricorn, you've been feeling like for so long, it's so thankless, like nobody's acknowledging me, what the fuck? And it's actually not even that at all. Like everybody's like, no, it's not even actually that at all. It's literally just you right now. The system I think that you were running before was not leading you to independence. You were wondering like, okay, I'm overworking, I'm working overtime, and people know me. You have it looks like you have a public identity. It's like I was talking about seamstress and stuff, like you would be known for what you make. And so it's like, I know people know, like I'm known for what I make, but at the same time, it's like, it's not stabilizing. It's not giving me the independence that it should be giving me, is what I'm getting, right? And so there's this moment that was coming up where God won't let you go back to something you did. So maybe there's a way you've always made money that like suddenly is dried up, and it kind of maybe feels like you're being punished. You're like, what the hell? Like, and it's really just because I feel like there's also a situation where Capricorn, we want you to be creative again. We want you to creatively think of your next step. I know Capricorn is, again, this is like always being abused to do the dutiful thing. Like, it's almost like Capricorn, I feel like there's always something, I feel like there's a sense of rushing you all the time. And you actually need to move, you actually naturally should be moving a lot slower, because you represent the total composite time of the whole Earth's moving time. And so, I just feel like there was something about like always feeling like pushed. Like, do you get this? I just feel like people who really love you right now are really going to be like, I want you to slow it all the way down. Everything you do is genius. I just think you're not picking up how much genius shit you've already littered this earth with, because it just feels like when you're being like, this could be having to do it to survive. This could have been having to do it. So it's like you're creating all the right stuff, but I feel like the last cycle was fucking pushing you to always do it. And that's what was causing the instability. right? Because it would be having your feminine go and try to deliver something. So you be like doing things like exploiting your creative ideas, right? Like overdoing it, like over siphoning from yourself, because you're having your feminine, you're thinking, because this, I'll use my husband as an example, because there's a lot of times where God really wants Dennis to stay synced up, because we're just babies building out these very big businesses. So we don't really even have a clear vision all 100% about like how the operations are going to go. We're literally like meeting them as they arise in terms of needing to exist on the earth. So a lot of times when we're just coming at certain things over the journey of the time, Dennis had to play around a lot with his business model, because it took a long time for him to understand that like what the appropriate cadence for album making is, because he definitely was aware like, okay, it's easy with my type of flow and with my formula and with my sound, it could really be easy to get to a place of burnout, because it's so natural for my energy to just be industrious when you have a 10th house Capricorn stellium type of shit. But it's also like, I don't want to ever, Dennis would literally betray himself and have like, he'd probably just kill himself, because if he ever ruined his relationship to making music by like not having good boundaries, he would cease to exist, because that can't be tarnished. So I, as his partner, I spent a lot of time really being like, no, you cannot do, no. You know, even just now I had to stop him, like, even like, and you guys might think I'm anal retentive, but he's a Virgo Mars, so he really likes this. Like, you girls might think this is a little overkill, but I don't even let him like speak negative words over stuff, because sometimes it's like really jarring. Like sometimes my husband will be like he just said something in the bathroom that was like super minimizing to, oh yeah, he was like, my panza, and I literally had to just correct him. I was like, you can't even claim panza. You can't, like, people actually might cancel you if they actually heard you like make a habit out of being like, I'm big, you're not. It's like that. It's like the negative, the pushing up on you, and always like kind of having that feeling of like, and I think it wasn't actually that anything was ever pushing on you. It's because your inputs and outputs were incorrectly. It's almost like the AV cable, the audio, video cord. It's like you need to switch those things and then see if it works. You get what I'm saying? Because I think you were thinking like, I'll never be stable, I'll never be independent. And maybe even some of you, because of that. I also think there's a lot of Capricorns too that could be in the middle here somewhere, where it's like, because of a chronic fear of never feeling like you could be independent and never being able to rest on the fact that you could be independent, it would get you to like create a lot of stuff that maybe you may or may not need to like be doing. Because I think right now you might really be reviewing like, I just feel like there's a deep need to rest. And I think it's very obvious that rest is called for at this time, just given that there's a general like, okay, like it's a new cycle and this year has so much energy, you might want to be prepared for it type of thing. So I think a lot of Capricorns, if you observe that there's rest that can be taken, and you know for some reason your life is set up to where you can't take it, like that's what you're reflecting on right now. It's like, I might have a deeper subconscious thing going on right now if it's like I have an opportunity to rest and I don't, because all I'm hyper fixated on, Capricorn, another big thing, no more thinking rest isn't productive. Look at this. Is that not what this is? This is someone who doesn't take naps because they're like, you can't make money when you take a nap. You should take a nap. Because what I'm getting is you've already made too much. It's not like, because I think sometimes Dennis gets mad at me. It's like, Alexis, you're being insensitive. You know I gotta make art. And I'm like, no, I'm not actually being insensitive. You're actually being insensitive to how valuable and how big the art you've already made is. Because you're actually coming from a place, Capricorn, that's what I want to tell you. I think you keep thinking like, I haven't made it big enough. I haven't done enough. And I had to stop my husband this week. I was like, no. No matter what comes this week, there may still be things we have to get done and figured out. But I don't want you approaching it mentally like I haven't reached my goal yet. Damn it. Because I feel like I see this in you, Capricorn. You could do like Dennis and drop your 88th full-length album. 88th. Okay? And then be like, fuck, I gotta get up in the morning because I'm not good enough in another way. And for Capricorns, it's only you girls. Your tank, like you will segment and tend to your gas tank. You'll go put in 50 in your tank, fill up your King Tonka, and then you'll go get in your buggy and it's like almost like you'll put $50 in your pickup truck, right? Then you'll drive back home before work and be like, park the pickup truck you just put $50 in and take your buggy that you know is on E. And then you're driving the E car to work, and then while you're on the way to work, you're like, and look, I'm so stupid, and I'm poor, and I don't have any money for gas, and I'm not working hard enough, so I'm gonna just fucking go and do. And so then it's like on the way to work, you go apply for another job. It's like the whole problem is you already had several cars at home. It's like you're someone who has multiple cars, and the whole reason for this whole perceived shortage, the whole reason you don't feel stable is because you're literally, of all the things you run, you go to the thing that's not doing the most, or it's like the whatever isn't farthest along, and that's where you're going to start your new sense of self. That's where I'm going to start my life. And see, I haven't done enough here. And I'm telling you, God is like, And it might for some of you be a forced thing too. For some people, it has to do with karma. It has to do with like you were having a security wound that was making you build something that maybe isn't You was putting too much pressure on it. Like, you need to ease off. It's like, because it may not even be on your divine path. It's like a lot of times fear will make you do that, and the fear might be rooted from some event that happened in your life, but it doesn't even have anything to do with how you're going to repair the thing from post-fear. So it's like, let's see, Capricorn. This is a very deep and layered and textured message, and I feel like we're having exactly that time together. Oh my God, Capricorn. Ace of Cups, babe? Well, that'll do it. Here it comes. The feedback. The feedback. Because what held up the feedback? What held up from you hearing in real time what your impact is from God? What held that up? Your own Ace of Cups. Then I tell you this all the time, I'll tell any Capricorn this, really meditate at this time over what you do it for. Because I believe that the cup, the Ace, the cup that God wanted you to choose, that you can pick now, it's to some degree, it's always been orbiting you. It was always there. It was like, it's the things that come in and replenish you at this time from a huge godly space are kind of what would always have been orbiting you. So then you might be looking, because I feel like there's some Capricorns with attitudes right now, like, the fuck? Like, I don't want you to be closed-hearted right now, because you'd be like, so why the fuck now? Why you buying my shit now? Why y'all peeping my shit now? You don't do that, because God's gonna quickly, your ego could want to do that right now, but God's gonna quickly point it back to like, do you want me to air out the files? Because the truth is, you was the one who was conflicted here. You was the one fucking up and sabotaging the business plan. You was the one who was mixed up, sloshed up. God's gonna do that to you, because the only person that made your destiny hard, it looks like, was you. And it only had to do because you were navigating this fucking independence wound. There's a wound where it's like, you are Capricorn, you represent the independent ability for the earth kingdom to make it to supreme knowledge, right? That's you, Capricorn. And yet people want to make you feel like you couldn't do that you aren't that. I think, Capricorn, you might be in a position where you think you need to keep chasing knowledge, or you think you need to but you're actually in a much more like, you're actually in a place to give. You're actually in a place, and I think it's a huge internal shift. I think this is all of our Capricorn energy can really relate to this right now, where it's like, I was just thinking I wasn't enough. I also feel like a lot of you might really see that, like, so it's like, this is someone who's like, I'm single, and I'm interested in you. So this is someone who's at the club. I'm 9 of Pentacles. I have my own thing going on here. I'm sustaining this all by myself. Only thing I'm missing is the 10 of Pentacles. I feel like there was someone who you were forcing and working so hard to get their attention of, right? So hard, and your approach them. So if they are like somebody who's supposed to be on your path, it's like your approach was like, I'm working so hard to align or to do whatever, blah, 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 blah. And the scenario would need to be that this person needs to be like singling their energy, like available to do the partnering thing with you. And it looks like you're trying to like really work with this like 8-8. It's like I want to lock in for. It's almost like too. I kind of hear that. It's like you wanted to lock in forever with something, but for whatever reason, this method is perfect, but it has to be with something in the upright. So what I'm saying is the fact that it's in the reverse, it means that there is someone who you see who represents independence. So what you're seeing when you look at them, it's like it represents like independence for me. But the problem with it being in the reverse, with the whole Pentacle situation, is honestly just that it's like 9 of Pentacles, but not for you. You get what I'm saying? Like this is someone being like, if it was an upright, I'm at the bar, I am single, and I also like you. I always tell people that, like I'm bringing my husband because it's like, I always tell him this, I always prep him, I was like, baby, I'm the type of wife, you go to that club and then women hit on you, don't even bring me into the equation. You deal with them proper. You don't gotta act like a single unhoused man. No, because I know you would lose your mind. But I want you to answer the questions. If someone's like, hey, would you date me? Do not sit up there and be like, I have a wife. Because she's asking you multiple things on multiple fronts. She's saying, are you available? Are you open? Are you looking for a partnership? Yes or no? She's also saying, are you interested in like what I'm giving? I feel like there's always a twofold with that. When someone's like, hey, like, can I have your number? Are you single? I always ask people to be a lot more aware that I know that you're asking me a lot more than you're asking me, because a lot of people be like, can I get your Instagram? And I always get so uncomfortable with that, because I'm like, well, you're asking me if I'm looking for that right now, and you're asking me if I like you, but you're jumping over that just by being like, give me the handle. So I also feel that's another thing. It's like, maybe you kind of were dealing with the cycle where you were chasing after something, and this is a deep psychological wound where it's like, this person they're not really asking you if you like them. I think you get what I'm saying? It was like the way in the past, this cycle, and some of you may have already been through this very recently, or you're like in the height of this at this weekend, it's climaxing, but it's like what you're starting to realize about this dynamic is like you're spending all this time building yourself up and really whatever, but what you're really doing is working on you. But it looks like it's manifesting and like, it looks like I'm always showing my undying love to you, but really what you're doing is like building up yourself. And then this energy was very much like, I am independent and sovereign, and I could give you the independence you're looking for, but you're not the one I want to give it to. So this was about Capricorn facing that and not taking that anymore. Because that's kind of how, when we left Fresh Monkey, that was kind of the way that the franchise owner was like really dealing with Dennis. It was like, Dennis was like putting himself in the position to have what he wanted. Like, if I want to be managing here, I want to be creative directing here, I want to be adding my brand and doing things musically here as well. I'm working towards that. And the only problem is when they came into alignment, it would have worked because the owner represented like a path to independence for Dennis. But the problem was the Anad kept being like, I don't want to make you a manager. He like literally would just pick. He needed help. He needed money. He needed this. He needed that. But it was like, I don't need it from you. And you're realizing that now because it's like, I feel like you were holding on to this. I think you don't realize that. I think you don't realize like the painful, because I feel like that cycle spit you out and you need healing from that is what I'm hearing. I feel like whatever, because for him that happened like last month, and it was just because he's married to a seer, so I like saw it coming. I was like, let's get you out of here. And already like weeks and weeks in rehab before like the actual like energetics of what this cycle represents even happens, because he just doesn't need that right now. He's really doing something so much more important than like letting like, you know, other avenues where we're developing out our businesses beyond the core purpose of them, like, affect him. So I was like, don't. But I think that's what he's really reflecting on at the time. He's having a lot of time, because right now, the whole reason that whole opportunity drive it up is because it is time for Dennis to go to what the Ace of Cups actually is, because that wasn't it. That for him, it was like Fresh Monkey obviously isn't it, because what he had to realize, and again, that was very different because we had like slightly different experiences in the space too, just because we came in at completely different times, we were different places in our karma, we were attracting different things from the environment. So I had my fair share of shitty stuff that I was attracting, but it was also very different in certain aspects than what, like, because we just had different like whatever karma. But for him, one of the things that was very notable is that, like, he was doing, it was almost like uneven affection. It's like, that's what I'm saying, and I feel like you're deeply tied to, and I feel like this is collective, because I feel like everybody's watching these videos right now, because everybody needs spiritual guidance, so everybody's like, these are great. So everyone can listen to this and find this in your chart or in your own energetics and really understand how Capricorn works for you. But it's like, Capricorn, you'd be representing that sort of like unrequited love with this. Look how horrible and hard unrequited love makes you feel. It's such a waste. You see what I'm saying? Because this person the worst part about unrequited love is usually it happens with people who, they go to people who don't need anything from you. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's unrequited, not just because they didn't feel the same about you, but it's like you're putting some stuff somewhere that they already have. And that hurts. I'm telling you, Dennis, it wasn't good. Like, y'all read the letter I had to write on behalf of my husband, because it was a lot to say. Like, he needed someone in that situation. It was a very legally binding situation. We didn't take any, could have and didn't take any action in any way, but he was going through a lot of discrimination, a lot of harassment, a lot of just like insane things at once. And it was so bad that it was just like, he really needed to take a step back and realize how bad of a situation he was in for him, and like how people were like just being insane. And I feel that way. I feel like he really needed to take a step back and just like remove himself so that he didn't affect Dolphin Boy or affect his marriage in any way, because it was starting to get to where it's like, how? You know, how is this even happening? And a lot of that, I think, just came from like really working at something. And it was like, it got to a point where it's like, it seems like, because I feel like you're feeling the highs and lows. That's what I'm saying. It's like you feel the highs and lows of like, when we would clock in, everything that went good or bad in that day we would feel, but then it would always just kind of feel this dissonant disconnect where it's like the owner almost acted like we aren't understaffed, or like we weren't, like he didn't ever have a sense of urgency. And that's what I feel like. I feel like you're like, whatever the problems are with this like pairing or this like karma, this tie, like you meeting this type of energy, like the dynamic where it's like, what the fuck, like I'm 8 of Pentacles, 8 of Wands, like I'm, you know what I mean? 8-8. You're trying to make something be sustainable, and this kind of represents unsustainability. This is the end of you desiring unsustainability. Praise God. Let the church say amen. Because what is the Ace of Cups? It's sustainability. It's the waters that keep flowing. So praise God. Capricorns are recycling again. Praise God. That's what we needed, because that is what we needed. You used to be attracted to things that I think, and that's the other thing, is like also you might even be realizing like it's because I feel like this is a situation that made me think about some peer dynamic that I'm seeing in real life right now, that me and Dennis are always talking about, but it kind of makes me feel like you might have wanted to be like, oh, because it's not even a situation where it's like, oh, you always let your friends come around when they need stuff from you. Now you're realizing, Capricorn, you used to like actually volunteer yourself where you weren't needed. Like you can't, this is where God would have told you like, you can't trip out too much on this because you weren't needed here. Like they didn't even really ask you to come do this. So I think this is the problem you used to have. You used to not deal with your emotional body, and then it would be like, I'm gonna go just work really hard and give myself to someone who didn't ask. Because, ooh, this is heavy. This is very much the parent dynamic where it's like someone is courting someone who's like, what really happened though is like they weren't even sending a signal that they needed. It wasn't like they sent a bad signal. This is like someone who's like, I've got the perfect solution and I'm gonna find a way to sustainably fix the problem, but this person's like not even connected to, they shouldn't even be. So you're over here doing the Capricorn thing, like giving all, because I feel like it was like a self-worth thing. It was like a self, like you're it's like, again, it has to do with the Capricorn. The Capricorn's nurturing from Cancer. If you're a nurturer, if your mother was a liar, Capricorn or some shit, it's like you guys, like that's why you're doing this. That's why you're like, this is almost like walking up to somebody. You know who they're fucking showing me, Capricorn, that you looked like in that old cycle or right now with whatever this cycle is. Y'all know that motherfucker on Instagram or whatever who goes up to celebrities? I don't know how he always finds them in Hollywood, because I guess because he lives in Hollywood, is always like, I guess, on the street or like looking up paparazzi, fucking newsfeed, fucking call center or something. He just goes, pulls up, he's like, pulling up on Jessica Alba right now, I'm gonna sing for her, and he just sings like painful music in front of like Jessica Alba while she's just like, and some of them know he does this online, but a lot of people, he looks regular as fuck, so it's like, a lot of people are just like, scared, like they're genuinely like, what the fuck are you? Or they're just like, excuse me, like what? Capricorn, that's what you were doing. There is something that you're overcoming because you went up to something where you're just like, they weren't asking. You know what I mean? It's like you weren't summoned, you weren't called over here, nobody was even trying to vapor with you, but then you just came and started building forever with them. And I feel like that's the thing, you might kind of take, if you do this is like catch a slave behavior. This kind of dynamic is non-consensual. I hate to break it to you. It isn't consensual. It's from a spiritual sense. It's like, it's not consensual because this person, look what, if you pursue someone that's out of alignment for you just because you don't feel independent in yourself, you will make a slave out of this person. Because you will take them from ever having an opportunity to create their own independence because you've already done it. Look at you doing two people's work. You're trying to do. And I think that's what I'm saying. This has a deep thing to do with wanting things that aren't even asking for your help. You probably were raised to sort of balance out, fix the situation, you know, like volunteer yourself to like mitigate things that are not, it's not appropriate. It's not calling for you to be the mitigation of it. It's not. And yet you were always in your life. You know, this is the Capricorn who's like, you were a child star and you helped get your parents in a house. Like that's the type of stuff, like you don't need to do that. Like you have that sort of story where it was like some achievement you had actually helped increase other people's shit, or you know, and you were solving problems. Like maybe your family's dysfunctional and then you got a partner that helped like piece it all together. Now it makes sense, right? And that's great, except for not really for you, because that's not really your thing to fix. It's like it almost, and I feel like you feel that way. You're like, I don't really love that like my blood, sweat, and crucifixion died for your all sins. This is Jesus Christ having a reckoning. I'm gonna be honest with you. This Capricorn reasoning, Capricorn sequence, Jesus Christ is like, I'm going after sustainability, but I don't really understand why my death and my accountability for my own sins is being gaslit, twisted in the narrative in these streets, that I would have somehow been thrilled, kumbaya, about you girls having me up there bleeding by my toes. Speak your truth. I feel like the wounded healer with this Chiron going straight into the Kazemi tomorrow. I feel like we're going to hear from Jesus Christ direct about how you bitches did him on the cross. No shade. The fuck was you doing that for? You girls gonna lie to yourself and tell you that I was thrilled when I walked about that tomb? I didn't talk to none of y'all. I feel like Jesus Christ was like, I didn't talk to none of y'all. And y'all sit up here and wrote them Bibles talking about he came out that tomb and was so excited to get back to work. No, and didn't. Go back to work for you hoes? Girl, no. Okay, Capricorn. So, in your recent past, Capricorn, it looks like for you witnessed 10 of Cups outside of you. You are seeing true love outside of you. So you might, so it's like such a deeply juxtaposed position. The true love, like seeing, this could even be just as light as like coming across someone that's just like, that's a full spectrum feeling. Yep, that's a full body yes. So even if you're at the grocery store and this is as simple as like, I saw an in-season papaya and it was so damn dastardly good looking, it made me feel the full spectrum of the thing. And it could be that simple, right? Or it could be like you literally saw somebody love at first sight, or you saw somebody and it just like made you feel like the full capacity is like, yeah, that's that. But then now you're dealing with this heavy sort of burdensome feeling in the past where it's like, okay, I saw what it could be and what I really could be linked up, but then it made you immediately realize like there's an emotional confrontation that something is a mess. Something is spilled. Because it's an emotional thing where it's like, this is someone who is like, you don't know there's better until you literally experience it. That's what happened to you. You wouldn't have left that old cycle. God has to do whatever the hell's happening to you right now. God has to do it because there's something about how you would have stayed stagnant in it. You would not have left this thing. You would not have gone on past this thing if God didn't bring something to juxtapose it, to show you just how messy and spilled and how little is actually there and how you're not doing anything by staying in that thing. Ooh, Spirit, you better come through. Because you already have a kingdom ready that you've already built. And so you need to really let this crucifixion give you some time to realize why you don't need to go serve these damn Israelites who are going to put you on this goddamn cross again. And laugh in your face. You don't got to do all that because you're actually the magic man that has all these magic abilities. So maybe go just do that and stop trying to help these girls. Because when you taste that everlasting love from the most creative part of source, when you really know who the fuck you are, when you see Mary Magdalene, you don't even work. It's like, Jesus like, I'm taking the lover route. I'm not doing the fucking dying for y'all. We're not breaking the bread and eating the wafers no more. No, for you girls, this is not drinking the blood of Christ. No, I'm not gonna let these girls drink my blood no more. Vampire ass bitches. No. Why would I let them sit up there and siphon and suck my blood when I have someone who could refill my cup over and over again? I'm not gonna do that. I just heard Jack Harlow be like, I'm not gonna pull $100 grand out. He's thrilled about that. That motherfucker's thrilled about that one. He's thrilled about that. Shout outs.
It's not trying to kill his granddaddy,
so simple as that. That's you right now, Capricorn. You're like, granddad said he'd have a stroke if I pulled out a rack, so we're not gonna pull out a rack. You get what I'm saying? Right. I feel like love of your life was like, I will kill myself if you settle this in, and you're like, so we're not gonna do that. I'm not gonna lock in with the lies. Cause and effect. I'll cut it off. That's what you did in the recent past. Because you knew you were creating the situation. Something that 10 of Cups experience, something that is like truly 10 of Cups, something that completely, a 10-10. Completely feel 10-10 right here at 10-10.
It's actually
11, and then you're Capricorn, you're super aligned right now. You just finished this in the nick of time. But I need to illuminate to you how this had to do with a cycle where, again, you were attracted to things that weren't even calling. They didn't even really sin for you. And I think that also might be kind of why it looks a little just amicable. It really looks like this is kind of chaos because it literally looks like two people who are just running two completely separate things. Like, yes, one person's not even open to this thing because it's not for it in any way, but like this independence and this independence, this machine over here, this machine over here, this is collaborating with things that are like to complete, like, what this would be the type of collaborations like, why are y'all collaborating? Why is that your baby daddy? Why is it, you know what I mean? It's like that. It's like why would you do that? Why would you mix with that thing? Type of frequency. You know? Yeah. Let's look up his crown. It's a beautiful message, Capricorn. Page of Pentacles. Capricorn, yeah. Capricorn's like, I'll take something real then. And fuck the rest. That's what you're at. You're like, I don't want to lose. And this is great for you, Capricorn, because this whole situation, this whole experience of realizing that's a pattern, this is a deep, I feel like, Capricorn, you've really, sorry about my nostrils, like, it's like I'm shooting up an angle and then I'm like dripping out like a faucet and it's like whatever, but that's how I feel. It's like, but it's like, I feel like it's like your red flag radar, because that's kind of what this also gives. It's funny because it's like, this is not your classic disillusionment or breakup because of toxicity. That's not even really what it is. Like, you can't even just blame, because there may be toxicity that's present, but really the root of this is just like more of that same, like, we're not even like someone's dedicating their life's work to someone that they don't need to dedicate it to, so they're not doing it, and the other person is just like completely independent. It's not asking. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, it's just like going up to someone and being like, I wanted to. It's like what we did with the night. It's like, I want to give you to boyfriend. Let me help. It's like they didn't. In the end, we couldn't even tell him how insulted we were about how he fucked up our collaboration, because he was so wanting something so simple and so like, just. He was trying to build something. In the end, we split, because it really, even if I brought up the sexual harassment, all the crazy illegal stuff that's going on, it was really just, we weren't building anything together. It was very clear
like
that
nothing.
We're literally, there's actually like nothing being built together. And I feel like it's just that cut and dry. It's actually kind of almost like dystopian. It almost feels like, are we just doing something dystopian? Because it's like, you can't even be mad, because like the Capricorn and the crowning and the top of the reading, it's like, you're just cutting. It's just like, this is just a lose-lose situation. That's why I'm walking away. It's not even like,
I feel like that's what the L of it like was feeling like.
Because I think what you're looking, if you
not, like just it being a waste of time is even more.
Well, when you look back, I think the thing that I will say that God is saying here is like, it's going to be a little awkward, because it definitely is a situation where you're looking back and you definitely look at yourself in that situation, and it's like painfully clear that it's like that is like just. This is another thing I will say, Kat. Complacency is kind of at the heart of this. So like, even you can be complacent even in like higher echelons of wealth and well-being, right? This I'm seeing a lot of Capricorns who it's like, I don't know, I dated him because like he's a professional basketball player, so you know that'll be good, and I know I'm a career woman, so it worked. And it's like, and that's where you guys need to log off the internet, because if you're doing that, that's kind of as sort of like sort of what is the word that's escaping me right now? Nihilistic. Yeah, that's the word I'm listening for. It's like it's a form of nihilism, whatever. Sorry, I'm just like snotty enough, but it's like it's so much is funny. It's like it's just almost this like sort of self-proclaimed like, because to just get in a dynamic where it's like, oh, I don't know, I thought you're a powerhouse, I'm a powerhouse. What? Because it's almost like you would be negating alchemy. You'd kind of be lying on the spiritual principles of like the occult, dark magic scientists, by saying like that there isn't even alchemy. That when you come together or partner with something, that it's like it's about a third dimension thing. It's like nah. It's like about like the blending and the fusing and the merging, right? Because I just feel like there's something that the Ace of Cups gets delivered to you no matter what. But I think it came from whoever gave you the Ten of Cups feeling, not from who you've built this thing from. Because I think it's easy to build a castle and a partnership, but then you got crucified, and it looks like all the people who live in your castle watched you at the crucifixion. The Israelites, anyways. That's girls over here sitting up here doing whatever the fuck they doing. And I think the real thing about these demographics and motherfucking religious men is that's all they are, is religious men. At the end of the day, all they're doing is chatty about a supernatural phenomena. I don't need to read a book too many times about some bitches who didn't have no supernatural shit going on, looking at a nigga with some supernatural shit going on. Who got the time? You know what I mean? Who's got the time? So I just feel like it's almost like you're just moving forward. And I also feel like perhaps there was 10 Pentacles. I feel like there's a little bit of a split here. This is just like amicable too. It's also like the disillusionment of something that's just like amicable, because it's like, well, I mean, this is definitely like a partnership too. I also feel like this is a little unfair, Capricorn. If God's halted this dynamic for you, like you had a tower moment, because I remember I saw the tower come out and I started crying. So maybe there were things that were making you cry and you didn't understand why God was putting you through tower moments, but they actually stopped you because you were going to end up in a divorce that this person would have taken all your money. Oops. So this partner, like if you would have continued partnering with them, they would have been a risk to your. If you aren't a Capricorn who knew in the recent past that the only 10 of Pentacles you should be building, that'll be there for you when you get crucified, when you make it all, when you have to emotionally reinvest, the only person that'll do that for you is the 10 of Cups. You know that. And this dynamic, because some of you are going to lose it all because and this is why. This is someone who is taking everything and they're only going to leave you with one pentacle. So it's a good thing that your true love doesn't want you for money, because it looks like you're going to have a lot less money than you had. Because this looks like a bill you have to keep paying. This looks like 8-8. This is somebody you have to pay back for life. Kind of thing. They're going to keep siphoning that life. It's a curse. You see that? It's a curse. Someone's trying to curse you. They saw that you have this on astral. You have this on astral. So someone came up to you and seduced you, and they seduced you from your actual cup because they knew, I'm gonna come up to you and I'm gonna pretend to have all the good things that your real opportunity has. But I'm actually 5 of cups. I'm actually something that's gonna make you later on just have to reinvest and go right to what you really do have. Is also making a lot of Capricorns, maybe in the past, like it's like you did the groundwork with a karmic situation. So like you built a business with a karmic person, or you married a karmic person, and that dissolved. But it's like as soon as that ends, you go right into it would be like this is like the person who goes right into the arms of someone else, and the next thing they feel it's almost like we can start at a level of depth because that shit initiated me to know more clearly what I really want, type of thing. But I just feel like there's like the Capricorn frequency where like a lot of us have to be okay with like materially, we're gonna have to let a lot go. This is slimming a lot down. I'm seeing a lot of you guys, you know, just again downsizing a lot because you're realizing less is more. If you're also probably never gonna build a life like this again, even if you do find it like the true love of your life in the future and you're like open to stuff, you also realize like, you know, there gotta be other love languages than the fucking Birkin and the Louis and the Bluey and the Chewy, you know what I mean? Like it's gotta be something else, because I feel like that stuff hurts the most when it's gotta fly out the door and its boxes are packed and it's just ugly, and it just feels like I just made all this money and then I have to immediately pay it out to someone, and then they like doot 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 out the door. And guess what? And you're like, I'm literally hearing homeboy, don't tell anyone, he's in the practice room, and he's got the James Chance, I think. Is it James Chance? And James Chance is like, all I have left, or what? No, not James Chance, the other guy. And he's like, all I have left is just this meat. And they took, because there's this monologue in Downtown 81 where the guy's like, he's basically like, you know, first we pull up to the club. We unload our stuff. We're there for 20 minutes. It costs us $8.75 to take the fare. He's just basically going through like the artist life. So it sounds good because they book you. Yeah, being a signed artist, and it's like you got booked for something. So the booking is for $1,200, but then you got to pay the PA, and you got to pay the open bar, and then you got to pay. And so by the end, he's left with like $1. So he's basically, it's like this whole beautiful poetic scene where he's like talking about in a practice room, and he's got this mic. He's just kind of having this manic, beautiful composition he's making, and he's basically just like, so this is the reality of the chaos. Where it's like you think it's a really lucrative thing until it actually spits you out with a quarter. This is someone who thought like, oh, you put up all these big bands for it, but when you net zero the over under, let me tell you right now, over under is $1. It's a Dollar Tree ass bitch. That sucks. Left you with $1. And that's hard because it looks like it was your life's work. It looks like to go out with that legacy would take out all your life's work and reduce it to something that is way less valuable than what it really is. So that's what we learned about that. But it looks like the renewal of Christ is upon you, right? The everlasting truth, the living word, it finds you yet again, because true love will always find you in the end, Capricorn. And the thing that really lit your fire and really awakened your emotional space to this maturity and to this healing, and most importantly to seeing this runner sort of chaser unrequited dynamic positively, is that like someone was never asking you to do that, and that's why you keep fucking everything up, because this is, you gotta, so that's another thing happens, to make sure you're listening, you know? You gotta effectively able to be a better listener, because I think sometimes too, just imposing your will on people, it's like you're hearing people, but you're hearing them through what you gotta be. Again, this is like less materialism, less self-centeredness, healing those wounds, because maybe no one was taking care of you, so like instead of taking care of yourself, you just overly focus on yourself. You don't actually do any helpful things to yourself. You're just always thinking about you. So then you're in relationships with people, you're only able to think about yourself, and people are like, dude, hello, like no one's talking about you right now. Like maybe you know that, like it's like, okay, I gotta deal with this dynamic, because it's starting to get to a point where guys are like, dude, you can't even like just listen to other people. It's like, you know what I mean? And that's not you, because you are the most, Jesus, Capricorn. What? Okay, Capricorn, this is very serious. Capricorn, we need to pray. I want to send out a prayer to you. Capricorn, I really want to send out a prayer to you. This is very scary, and I'm not trying to scare anybody right now. But this dynamic, Capricorn, if you have not gotten out of it, it looks like this would create a succubus dynamic for you, and this thing isn't even demonic in nature. This is non-consensual. So this creates a demonic tie because you would be fucking with consent. This is manipulation. This is kind of forcing someone to do something just by way of slimming their options or cornering in on them or zeroing them in to finish whatever you want to do. Okay? The wages for that, if you do not stop in the way that God is warning you right now, the very near future, this isn't a suggestion. You will see this. We will all see this. Usually death, for me, when I see the death card, when I see any sort of endemic whatever, it's never the this is very extremely like someone can die. I don't even want to scare you. That is the near future. This dynamic would result in death and 10 of swords. The loss of this life. I don't know if it's, we can clarify more of that. But it ends in someone literally, I'm literally hearing God being like, someone would literally kill themselves in this. Because when you rationalize, Capricorns, I'm really holding space because you would see this. And I pray to God that this is a preemptive. I was going to say preliminary. See, this is scary because I feel like there's like this is something that you know would just take you out. You know that this is something that would kill your soul. And I feel like there's a Capricorn who's on their last nickel with this. Like this dynamic and being chained to it is taking everything you have, that it's about to crash out. I think you need, I don't even want to joke with you right now, but I think you need to know I need to affirm to you, it would be as bad as you think. You only feel as bad as you feel about this because it is that close to being completely deadened. I mean, deadened. Like, you won't be sharing a physicality with this dynamic anymore in one way or another. I don't know how that manifests. But death and 10 of swords, I feel like in my fucking 7 years of reading, have I ever pulled that combination?
Mm-hmm. Damn. Like
I know exactly how I would define it, but death and 10 of swords, I never pulled this.
Shit.
I don't think in my career as a reader.
Whoa.
This is so indubitably that. And it looks like, because this has got to be the biggest money heist, shit shamil. This is all about money. This is for I should say that, Capricorn, what do we do for money? What do we do for the material? Capricorn, and if this is you, Capricorn, because I can't lose a single Capricorn on this planet. I opened up crying over you guys. So I feel like some of you might be in a really dark place because I think, I know you would be in a really dark place because Dennis would be in a really dark place. The polarities of what his life could be. So if you were to flip a coin, he could be living what he's living right now, which is highest timeline, married with me, whatever. But the inverted version of what we're living out would have Dennis dead. He knows that. He's like, I could only be living exactly how I'm living. Otherwise, I would be so unfulfilled in my soul, I'd probably leave this planet. Many of you are there. That's why you're holding on to this thing. Because your happiness, you really needed this cup. I think let this be a lesson to you. Don't ever tamper or play around with things that you know give you life source energy. Don't ever play with God. I feel like that's what you learned that. Because this is outsourcing, so this is not a God. This is serving a false God. Capricorn, if you've been serving and idolizing the sample from it, serving a false God, that musician goes to the false God, which is the booking agent, and he's putting all his faith in him. Well, see, and he's like going on this long monologue. He's like going manic. It's an episode. He's spinning, the camera spiraling, the cinematography's crazy, and it's like,
he's talking about all the work you put in.
He's like, I put all this work in and I'm not getting it. And that's what I'm saying. If you went up to the false God and screamed at it and said, I put all this work in and I did all this shit, dead. You ended it. You do not get this back. Because that thing is going to look at you and it's going to humble the shit out of you. And it's going to say, I didn't ask you to come over here. You remember that? Remember how you came up to me when I didn't even want to do this? And that's going to hurt. That's going to kill you. It's not going to kill them. It's going to kill you. Because they're going to say something so in your soul that just sends you to the abyss. And it's just because you know, this is so painfully clear. The voice of this, it's kind of the voice of this energy, this Nine of Pentacles in reverse, is so cutting. Because they're going to really let you know this ain't that. And that's how you know that now. You know that now. Because I mean, it would be, this is feeling life or death. This is a connection. This is your true love feeling like you really played with that. You might have played with the pipeline of life and death. So you could have gone with the karmic partnerships that are on the death timeline of that sort of frequency, where it's like, you're just not, and death in the sense of like, it's not new life being administered. It's the death of it. It's the transforming it into something different of it. So that's not what life is. Like, death is not the same process as life. You get what I'm saying? Death isn't something that I have to fear. There's lots of change. There's a lot to like redefine about what it's actually giving, but it definitely isn't life. You know what I mean? And I feel like you've been it's almost like you would be lying for a really long time about what gives you life, because this thing that you've been doing doesn't give you life. But I really am sorry, because I just feel like and this might be one of those times where it's like, you know, if you read at this time, it's like there's a headline, it's like, because I'm kind of just seeing someone where the cost of this lifestyle and this status and this identity was actually going to be your life in the end. I don't mean you die today. I mean, like, you're going to have the realization that's like, what I lost from chasing the wrong path. And it just, I feel like this can be a warning, this can be an affirmation, it can be a confirmation, or it can be like, this is about to happen for you. It can be a lot of different things, but Capricorn, you need to focus on this dynamic, because it's like, this is someone who is sitting there being like, I did this. This is total accountability. I picked the wrong person. I literally went up to the wrong person, had the right person. I even had the right person before I had the wrong person, type of shit. I had the right stuff before I was doing the wrong thing. So this is someone who totally went up to it. And in the end, when you look at it, because it's not even like you died or something. It's like, when I talk about death, I really feel like the mourning that you would feel when it's like, what you could have been doing with your time. That's the heaviest part of death. I think when people die and you know they're not here anymore, the thing that makes you really sad and keep crying is like when you start thinking about all the days where it's like, they won't be here to make that possibility. They won't be here to make, that's what like depresses you. And I feel like you're about to get like 20 out. If you're in this and you rode this, now I'm hearing titles, I'd be like, wheels fall off. You did not want to be writing this until the wheels fall off at this Aries week, because this is the most insane, humbling, kick in the fucking jugular stab from the Aries truth that you could ever ask for. But this is some Capricorns knowing that Spirit told them that this ends in you dying if you do this. Dennis has been there. He's lived this. He makes choices from here every day, because he knows very clearly like what stuff would lead to more life and what would not. And I just feel like, because it looks like no matter what, not every Capricorn will be having the same outcome in terms of like how this applies to you, but they are having the exact same outcome, where it's like they're currently aware that it was done. You were at some point right now, within the ever-present now, dealing with and healing from a dynamic where you made the wrong choice. You committed to just like the wrong thing, from the place of, you're frustrated with yourself. You want to get to where you want to be, and it's not happening how you want to, and you refuse to make a relationship with God. So you're just going to go on to somebody else and make them a false god. But if you go pray to that false god, they don't have any spiritual protection for you. So you like die low key. It's like not good, right? Because when you argue with God, God could like protect you. But if you argue with something that isn't really your God, is not your creator, I think you might be surprised to. Okay, so the real reason I started freaking out, because these cards are honestly exactly, and Spirit called me to talk about this. We've talked about this a lot on the channel before, but I feel like a lot of you guys wouldn't know this, and because weirdly enough, I don't feel like we don't like to, this is a pretty cowardice story. Like, what happened was very cowardice, so we don't like to over credit it as like super detrimental, because it wasn't that serious in terms of like, if a loser does some shit like that, like they're not that powerful, so we're not gonna let them do more than like irritate us, right? But Slumpy Melatonin was originally a part of a duo group, and I guess it's not really that Slumpy Melatonin was a part of it, but No FM was comprised of two individual artists, who Slumpy Melatonin and Goiko was Dennis's best friend and musical collaborator and roommate, like literally shared a room. And Goiko's from Alpharetta, and he like moved to Austin to rehab, to Austin, out to take, like, he was like Dennis's meal ticket out of rehab. When I met him, I immediately was like, we gotta, it's like, let's get
to, like, so we could work, so we can make no
so they can
FM,
make
really,
no FM, yeah.
like,
So
really work.
they moved together so that they can start their music project.
But it was like I was in rehab, so like when you're in the rehab, you can't really leave until you have your own means out. So that was like my way.
Yeah, so you have to tell them, like, what are you going to do? And so he's like, oh, he arranged for this kid, and so we're going to go get our apartment, and blah, blah. So the first 6 months of our life were, like, us getting him out of the rehab institution altogether, because that really needed to stop. But anyways, long story short, Goiko was undiagnosed bipolar, just, like, complex trauma, pretty much resulting in sort of, like, the alchemy of, like, some sort of acute mental and spiritual malady. And so we find out that he's bipolar because he pulls a knife on Dennis one day while they were house sitting. I was on the phone, I was on FaceTime with Dennis. I was watching my husband be attacked. So horrible. Goiko gets arrested, gets sent to the psych ward. It was horrible. It was absolutely gut-wrenching. Horrible experience. We lost a family and friend. We never in a million years would ever want to institutionalize someone else, but, like, we were very confused because it was definitely like a psychotic break. So he kind of just snapped, and he basically, without going into too many more details, it's like, Capricorn, I want to say this. If someone threatens your safety, that's like a boundary that's a line that can't be uncrossed. So if someone makes you feel like they would, like, cause you bodily harm, doesn't matter what the dynamic is. If someone's, like, making you in a relationship specifically, so in a partnership you both are choosing to do, if they let themselves resort to a place where they are gonna, like, threaten your life, I don't want some of you to get to that point where they threaten your life and you have that reflection that's because I just see a lot of Capricorns really doing the immediate, like, that's what there's this, like, deep depression where it's like, I'm really bummed out about how much life was lost. And it's the kind of thing that could make you kill yourself too. It's like, where it's just like, if I really think, like, because I think some of you guys aren't going to be able to sit with this Aries conglomerate of truth, because it's truth that if you were suppressing it your whole life, do you think you're going to do very well when the Chiron goes Kazemi tomorrow, and it's, like, right in the middle of the sun, and it's, like, all exposed, like your wounded healer wounds? Because when you have to look at them and you can't lie about them, you're going to realize that, like, this was doing nothing but stealing. And I think it's even worse because it's not just that you didn't do and build anything together. It's also that you had a different destiny. I think Capricorns knew I was supposed to pick something else. I was supposed to be open to something else, or I should have kept going. It doesn't feel like I was in the wrong area. I wasn't wrong for wanting what I wanted, but I picked the wrong thing. This is what happens again. You have to have a relationship with God, Capricorn. Don't get yourself in this situation because you're trying to make something into something, and it's not. This ain't that. This ain't that. And that's why it ends in death. You see, oh my, I was literally just about to say, you see this coming. You see this coming. You know how this ends. I'm really praying right now, God, that you really protect and just keep the weaponry away, because I hope people don't have unfair, advantageous ways of, like, causing harm, you know, like this. I love that these are swords, because this means someone has to really let a nigga try me. The one thing I do love about Goiko trying to stab Dennis is it kind of was a fairer fight, even though it was like he still got because it's like, this is unfair how you're trying to fight my man right now, because he's not prepared. Like, you got issues with him, let him know. He'll get his shit ready. He'll pop you. He'll let you know his problems hurt you too.
Like, I was in the middle of fucking bed. Like,
yeah, he was he was asleep in bed, and he comes into his room, peeks in like a cracked out motherfucker. And mind you, mental snap, but still, it was crazy. It was ridiculous. It was insane. It was very scary and not good. And it was like Goiko, what did you expect? He's like, what the fuck, dude? You, like, called the cops? What the fuck did you expect, guy? Because that's the type of snap that someone's like, I don't know what you're thinking right now. I don't even know what, this isn't about trying to punish you. We didn't even want him to do anything. We don't know what your next step is. We're looking at you with a knife at someone's neck. We don't know what your next step is, guy. So what's the next step? Because because I feel like someone is like, this energy, this Nine of Pentacles that didn't ask, can feel so entitled to just being like, I didn't ask, well, I'm going to get rid of this burden, because there's no love here. This is pure materialism that has combined to this. And this is what I want to let you know. Nothing will cut you off and hurt you as bad. You guys think I hurt your feelings? Like, you girls try to project in the ether, like, Alexis, you're just, it's so hard and so painful, like, not being in your presence and being cut off. And that's not even as hard as when someone who has this is sociopaths. When sociopaths don't even give a fuck, dude. And them niggas just knife you because they don't even care. Like, the worst thing to swallow was, I was like, Goiko, you're not even fucking thinking about anything, are you? It was just like looking at someone, like the life, the care, the perspective in their eyes. It's just, when someone's there, it's like dangerous, actually. It's like, actually, like, well, this isn't good for anybody. It's a tower coming. Because what he did, it's like, once he pulled the knife, what is Dennis supposed to do? Wait around until you... And they slept on air mattresses in the same bedroom in the apartment. This is like sleeping with your bro, like, truly, like, they're across the floor from each other. So it's like, Goiko, we're too, like, Capricorn, you might have, like, assets and things. It's like, there are too many people at risk for you to be this crazy motherfucker. We'll have to get some more clarified, because I have a lot of questions about, like, who and what is doing what, but that will get, because it is still high level manipulation what you would be doing. And that's why people want to kill you, because Dennis had to take the accountability where it was like, well, if you really think about it, the way I just told you, he understood it later when he grew up in his 20s. He was like, I just needed to get out of rehab. And I really realized now that even if it wasn't like I went up to Goiko, because they really wanted to make music together, but really Dennis needed more time to heal. And really he had actually honestly gotten preoccupied with me. We had already fallen in love. So he had planned to move out with that kid before he met me. And then by the time I came in, they were just, like, really close to actually pulling the plug. So Dennis is kind of preoccupied or whatever, and his life was really taking him somewhere else. But I think because he was so focused on creating it the way he thought it was supposed to go, which was with this kid, he kind of just ended up, it's like, with Goiko, it was like, again, it's just the kind of dynamic where it's like, he technically kind of almost is at fault spiritually, though, because it's like, technically Dennis was the more conscious one who really was trying and intending for something very specific, which is like, I need to close a rehab chapter, period. And so he made a plan to close rehab, but Goiko is always going to feel like a pawn in that plan, because that's not a God ordained plan. That's you trying to figure out how your life's going to go. I got it. Like, and that's not Dennis's fault. That's literally capitalism. That's just like, okay, you got to move out of here. It's an institution being like, if you got to move out, you got to have an apartment. You got to tell us where you're going. You got to have a plan. So he's just doing that. But that is ungodly, because that's not how humans are supposed to think about what we're supposed to be doing. We're not here to fucking, oh, okay, I guess I should go and get another job, right? And remember I told you guys, you're like writing your 500th novel, but then you'll let like, and I don't have any fucking milk in the fridge, and that's why I'm a piece of shit. Like, Capricorn, you can't be on that fucking type of sharpness, because I feel like you're getting, like, people are almost, I just feel like there was a snap or something, and it like leads to like, it may not even be successful, because nobody can, what job less than man can curse. Trust me, I'm not spreading propaganda, but I am just saying, it's like, you are dealing with life and death. You are seeing someone who may genuinely, from out of this dynamic, feel like they don't even care whether you live or die. And that is just such a blow to the ego, because I can tell you, Dennis it was so dark at Fresh Monkey. It just kind of felt like I'm being sexually harassed every single day, like in bad ways, and I'm not doing well, and it's like affecting my mental health. Like, Dennis was like really like having some really intense, horrible days because of some of this crazy stuff we were dealing with at that job. And it just felt like this man doesn't even care if I die, like, actually. And when you get there, when you're deeply relating with someone who you just feel like you don't even know if these motherfuckers care if you like live or die. It's like, whoa, Savannah, right. We're in too deep. Because I'm over here calling you brothers. I'm over here shucking waisters with you whores. And what the fuck is going on? Is what I heard Spirit say. Capricorn. And Capricorn, it sucks so much because you're cardinal. And you want to know how the darkness attacked you in your childhood? You are cardinal. This is comfortable. They wanted you to be terrified of today. I knew this week was coming, and I knew that this right now the astrology is not fucking up, but it's like actually the people who are getting affected the most, cardinal signs, 1000%. All this Aries energy, cardinal signs are going for a revolution out there, like within themselves, everything's changing completely. And I saw it coming, and I knew for my husband, I was like, maybe his big three, this lineup, no. Dennis is Saturn and Aries, motherfucker. Dennis is motherfucking out here about to have this whole follow my rule shit. So I don't need him at all scared or fearful of starting new. Because Capricorn, you're supposed to start new beginnings mad solid. You're supposed to be starting stuff and it's like, I'm solid at this. I'm starting it because I'm solid. Not so when you fear that, that's because people wanted to abuse you. They wanted you to be scared of your new beginnings because they know you're meant to body them. Dennis's parents wanted him to be scared of his life in Austin. He was coming to find the love of his life. Now you can code that with you're a drug addict and that's where you went to rehab. No, it's not. It's not going to be what the story is because it's my hometown. You're not going to turn it into something it's not. Capricorn, this ends in you getting a very foundational, I heard generationally foundational settlement from the divine because someone tried to kill you. Someone sent death magic on you, Capricorn, and tried to kill you. Aries new moon, April 17th, 2026. Write in the comment chat how big that money came back. This is what was promised. This is what was promised by facing that. You know how many times they tried to take this guy out? Yeah, now would be the time. He stayed alive. He stayed following God. He rebuilt it from nothing. It's time for your foundation to come in. So you were crying because maybe God, you were thinking too small. You was like, I gotta get another job. And I've been telling this, I was like, nah, you don't even know what's coming to you. There's a reason. Your time's better spent this way. You don't even gotta worry about it. You don't even gotta worry about it. You don't even know what's coming to you. No clue. No clue. I'm going to do a couple clarifiers for you, Capricorn, because this is such a crazy, deep, intense message. Capricorn, this week, you're about to get a massive ancestral abundance back. Or you're about to get murked in this lifetime, and then in the next lifetime, you'll know why you're getting fat racks, because it's the way they murked you. Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me just get some energy on, like, can you just illuminate why someone is looking for forever? What's the motivation and what were you genuinely thinking when you were approaching this Nine of Pentacles that didn't ask? Capricorn. Okay, this also has to do with a wound in your inner child. People didn't want to let you. It's almost like a bigness thing. People wouldn't want to let you build out your ideas as big as you wanted them to be. So the only way to satiate your desire for that level of bigness was to do something that almost feels impossible, which is almost kind of like being attracted to impossible situations. This situation was impossible from the start. Let me just say that from the divine. The situation that has caused this death threat. I hear a death threat. I feel like it was like death threats. I feel like death was gripping and there were death threats. Like I feel like there's like a lot of that going on because look what clarified you. Capricorn, this is why people have death threats, because they feel like you manipulated them because you just wanted to get something about materialism. You knew that this thing made you, it fit your vision. It's not just like going up to somebody and being like, I only like you for your butt. It's not that. It's actually like you like them for materialistic reasons. Like this type of wife looks good in the vision that I'm trying to construct, but someone could very easily tell that you didn't pick this up. You didn't pick this up that when they first met you, they could like totally tell that you were being materialistic. They could tell that you just wanted to court them because they saw it in your eyes. I hear them saying this to me. They're like, I can see it in your eyes. Yeah, I can see it in your eyes. You thought I was going to be this and this ain't that. That's what I'm hearing. And so when I end up a lunatic killer, don't say nothing. Like I said, I gave Dennis a lot of helpful perspective because Goico was also a very dear and family member to me, and I understood his perspective in a lot of ways, you know, because I know what it's like to feel boxed in. He's Sag, so, you know, it's like I know what it feels like to be boxed in, to where it's like, well, everybody thinks I'm a fucking crook, so I'm gonna be a crook. Or everybody thinks I'm a fucking certain way, and they wouldn't expect that from me, so I'm gonna just tell you, don't. You thought I was gonna come in here and be some genius like you, and I'm not. He was kind of like that. He was just kind of like
yeah, the kid had like a very like specific path and like wounds that like I feel like we overstood, and like or like definitely like maybe.
Well, it's not even that we really understood them. To be honest, we were completely shy about him. We didn't really tap in too deeply, and that was kind of the issue. Is that he had so much of his personal world that was just so separate from Dennis, which is what this message is.
Yeah,
you're with someone who's not. You guys aren't actually working together. Dennis and Goico would tell you back then we're collaborating, but they weren't. If you listen to the music, it's like Dennis's side, Goico's side. And even though the bodies of works are coming together, the reason that it like the reason why like Goico had a really hard time being in the group physically for the fact that he didn't always feel like he always felt imposter because he was just like, I don't feel like I'm really, he felt like anytime he did make something good, it was kind of like a guess, like I kind of accidentally arrived there, or like can't really remember how I did that, or shit like that, and it just kind of goes to show like Capricorn, that's the issue, because I feel like there's just someone who was like, they were seeing green. Is what I'm hearing. Your destiny was about to take off. You were seeing green. There was a Wheel of Fortune there. And so you were seeing green. And I think you were just immediately starting to like try to attract in all the things that could hurry up and like assemble how much you were working on. But I'm just getting, you could have just worked on what you were building, because I feel like you were doing your sacred work while getting to a really deep partnership. But the partnership is not, it doesn't make any sense. And it actually just kind of ends in like, because this is like using people to the nth degree and not a good way. Yes. Look what you're leaving someone with. No independence and shackled to you. That's not a fair agreement, because you're not even checking to see if they're stable. That's the one thing Dennis did take accountability for. He's like, to be honest though, there are things like if there were signs of Goico, like, even before like the mental stuff, but like if he just needed to be supported in certain ways, like Dennis was holding the plate of like, I gotta get out of rehab. Goico was coming in kind of talking out of his ass like, oh, I'm real stable, in ways that he wasn't. They actually kind of mirrored each other like a lot more. So Goico was kind of like acting like a kid who was in a rehab in himself, where he just, in terms of like, he didn't really know what he was doing and he was kind of directionless. So they both kind of mirrored each other a lot more, but I think Goico came in kind of giving more of a like, oh, I'm way better off, or I'm the stable one, I'm not the institutionalized one, so I'll be good, I'm responsible, I've got a car, like, we can do this. And then in the end, we kind of realized, like, dude, you're poor. And it's like, and you know what I mean? Like, it would just, the whole dynamic, like, really when it was all said and done after the violent attack, it was just like, dude, you should go take care of yourself. You don't have a lot here.
We should, it's like address, like.
Let's just deal with what this is really about. Because one person, again, the person that did the manipulate, because I think this is someone who's kind of also blindsided, Capricorn. I think you were very blindsided that someone was so vicious towards you, or heartless towards you, or just kind of disposing of you. But it's because you're so engrossed in your sacred work that maybe, this is Capricorn, like I said, join the nunnery. Like, maybe you should just work on your sacred work. Because I think from a dynamic like this, pussy and dick is not worth it. It's not why I added on, because I think when you look back at your life, that's what you're saying. You're like, I'm depressed because it feels like they also stole your life. Like in one way, it's deeply mirrored, because they're like, you're literally binding me. You're literally making me do some shit I can't and don't want to do. And then on the other hand, you're just so wrapped up in your sacred work that you feel like they took from your ability to live out your sacred path. So it's kind of like, that's why it needs to be a duel. That's why with Goico and Dennis, it wasn't even like too heavy. It's just like, okay, we're not meant for each other. Because in the end, it was just like, it's not worth criticizing the other person. It was one of those situations like, okay, dude, we hear you. You can go. I feel like Capricorn, like, that was the situation. Like, when this person, like, takes it there, you're like, you could have just said you wanted to fucking move out, dude. Actually, Jesus fucking Christ. And oh my God, and here's the other issue, is like, the whole reason you're like, you can just go because this is ridiculous for this to have gotten physical, violent, whatever, because you're Ace of Cups, you're like, you had me separate myself from someone who genuinely loved me, and that's dead now. The true love would be dead now if you let this energy take you to the grave. Fresh Monkey was gonna do that. Fresh Monkey, we were sitting here, Three of Wands, watching this shit crash. We were like, this is getting worse and worse and worse and worse, and it will result in me and you doing actual damage to ourselves over a fucking part-time job. That would have been so dumb. So dumb. It would have been so dumb to just crash out with that.
So dumb.
But I think, Capricorn, you're looking at someone like, you are so dumb to have done this. This is someone who's like, I don't even believe in the prison industrial complex, but you should go to prison because you are so dumb. I think you were so baffled that someone would even try your life like that. The amount of value that they were gambling. I mean, it's just, this is the type of stuff that gets mothers enraged when they're, it's like school shooting level bad. It's like, are you insane? Yep. And someone realizes they crucified, and Capricorn, this is where you realize you crucified yourself because you ignored your intuition and invested in the materialistic thing, even though both were presented. A materialistic option, 10 of Cups. Something, yes, you may get to the 10 here and you may get to the 10 here, but it's, this nigga goes, like, huh? I do it. Like, on the Minecraft, baby. But it's like, you can get to the end, but it's like, here's the thing. This and this is someone who will die with you, right? Someone who will who will love you till the grave, to beyond the grave, right? This is the person you look back, this is the person you see before you take your last breath. I feel like that's how some of you feel. You just feel like being shut out from true love. It feels like you're sitting at you know what life and death feels like, because to be without a true love definitely feels that way. And then it's like but the worst part about when a materialistic partnership comes to an end, you know what it is? That's a divorce. That's a divorce. This is, one of these covenants is till death do us part. One of these covenants is like, let this money stop, I'm gonna punish you. Shit. Shit, Capricorn.
That sentiment, bro. Like,
if you let this money stop, I'm gonna fucking punish you. So these motherfuckers are coming. And these motherfuckers be wrong. City to city, I'm torn.
yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna call it now. Die lit, perfect for this week, because a lot of you girls, you might need to do the Aries thing and try to die lit, because it's not gonna be cute. Yeah, this is bad. So karmically though, this thing spits out and you lose everything. Is this like somebody who's like, I only survived by the skin of my teeth? You're Dennis right now. You're Dennis in 2016. Well, I just lost everything I have and I woke up in another state. No strangers all around me and none of my stuff. So this is the rest of my life now. And he had no idea that karma was coming in to recover his authentic truth, and that this tower moment can only serve his good karma. Oh yeah, this is the deepest wound coming to the surface. Yeah, we never talk about this stuff. This is Chiron going into Kazemi. It's already happening. What? So when we ignored our intuition and we killed something accidentally, we had this whole, the thing that you really think about in the near future after something really ends is it's funny, this is unrelated. Someone basically like threatens your life, and that actually, weirdly enough, I'm seeing you Capricorn, you completely release. Someone threatened your life, and it's just like Dennis. When Goico pulled the knife, all he thought about was like, I'm in love with Alexis. Literally, that was what was happening. Like, Goico pulled the knife on Dennis, and I'm sitting there watching my boyfriend about to be stabbed. And I'm just like, I'm really watching my boyfriend on FaceTime right now, frozen, paralyzed, about to be stabbed by someone. And that's what it's going to be. That's the end of him. And the only thing I thought about in that moment was protection, about how I was like, I just love him so much. I don't want to watch Dennis die right now. I don't want that right now. I didn't want it, you know? And I feel like if you're about to take your last breath, or you were in a life or death situation, or someone really like did something very ragey or heinous, or I'm seeing a lot of barrels of guns pulled this week. I'm seeing a lot of people being like, I'll fucking knife you, or I'm seeing a lot of that, unfortunately, this week. And I feel like maybe Dennis pulled out his fucking Jason mask, Freddy, Jason? Because I think you saw Jason and somebody. This is what y'all saw. Put it on for him so they know. Look what he pulled out of the basement. I think some of y'all saw somebody look like this, pull up on you, trying to get their get back. And when they had you, when they had you, however these motherfuckers were doing, the thing you saw was that person. And I think some of you Capricorns are about to have some very dramatic, like, I saw your face right before I thought I was going to die. And that's how I knew I had to come back and offer this to you. Because I'm hearing some of you, it's like, it wasn't even my children or my mom or so. It's like, it wasn't even, it's like, of all the people I deeply love, and I'm not saying I don't love those people, it's like all the people I deeply love, your face revealed. You know? Like, Dennis immediately got back to the FaceTime. Dennis was just like, Lex, we just immediately thought about the future, the truth. We didn't think about this bozo, because what Goico was doing was a lie. Trying to stab Dennis that night was not called for. It didn't even make any sense. He was just like, it was forced.
He didn't know.
He didn't know he was doing it. It wasn't even that serious. But it's just like, we were just so, everyone else was way more serious. Goico was just like in Delulu land. And I think that's another thing. It's like, this is someone who normalizes violence too. So like, that's also why they think it's a joke. I feel like someone thinks it's a joke. I just think they fucked with the wrong people. I think this is someone who thinks, I just see a very, like, because I know Goico got a side of our family that he'd never seen. The very snooty, like, pick up your purse. Like, we, like, grabbed our purses. We were like, no, boo-boo, because no, get your shit. Like, we very much, like, he very much was very, like,
yeah, he was, like in our family type shit.
Like, yes, like, in our family. It's like, I was worried he was going to come to my mom. He knew where my mom lived.
Yeah,
he knew, you know.
The reason I literally, it wasn't even, like, directly, like, after that happened, I mean, I didn't really have anywhere to go because I was in Austin with him, but the only thing I had in Austin was the rehab community. So, and the thing, it wasn't even like, oh, I could just go next move, just go back to my hometown because he's from my hometown.
He also lives across the street from his parents up the street. So
it actually wasn't the safer option to like just go back because like even the
he was good because Goico when he gets out,
they were like they're just gonna evaluate him and let him out, and then but they're like if he's like angry at you, like their advice to me was like just like you should go somewhere away from him because they're like we can't control what he's gonna do after. Like if we evaluate him and let him out, then that's on him. So. Yeah, it was just, but so yeah, it was literally like had to remove myself, go as far as possible.
It's probably the safest option because this is just going to be a man who, because he could have been plotting something this whole time. He could have been trying to.
Confirmed by the universe later in life when I ran into this person. He said in this town a year later or years later, and same shit, like or just like it was confirmed, like as to why it was like that I wouldn't have been safe. Like it wasn't an option. Yeah, like
it wasn't safe. No, it would have just been a type of thing where this person, because I feel like it's not even someone has let slip that they would threaten your life. If it's not actually that, you have a deep sense of feeling like this dynamic would be life threatening. Let's see what you're expecting. Such a long one for you Cappies. You're expecting this. You were expecting this, exactly. Third party energy. Somebody is getting revealed as actually third party. And the reason you could expect this is because I feel like your true love, the love that obviously like, there goes that, the love that gets killed because you chose this consciously, or if you would have activated this timeline for yourself, Capricorn, it would have resulted in you ultimately finding out in the end that's gonna just be third party. That's not divine energy. And so you're expecting so this is what I'm saying. This is you created a lose-lose for yourself because it would be you knowing this isn't sacred. This isn't forever. This is going up to someone you know you can't have forever with. There's something about whoever you're with, you knew they weren't, you would know they weren't, because even if you don't, this is like someone going up to gay men and trying to like date them and like trap them. And it's like, but that man's not straight, babe. So you gotta let him, why are you trying to do that? You know what I mean? Maybe because you want the love of like, you want unconditional love or what? You looking for like the love? So what do you want? What do you need? Trauma bonding with third parties, right? With your dick, right? With your Kundalini energy, right? So we're using if we're using ourselves. Yeah, crossing paths with this This is like thinking with your dick type of frequency, where it's like, why would you be just thinking with your dick? Because if you think with your dick, that means you don't even think of the person you're with as a human. Again, Capricorn, you'd be struggling with consent. You're like manipulating. This is why people would want to kill you. Don't let people try to plot death on you by being so poor in your character like that. Side note, you don't expect this. So, your soulmate, the partner you really should have been with, it looks like you don't know that they're expecting you to be like, hey, I didn't fall. They already know that you had to surrender to spirit because you said no to something that was actually spirit telling you to do it. So they're already, believe it or not, I'm kind of spoiling the surprise, but they're actually like this. The person that you think would hate your guts because you know you moved on past them and you didn't do what you needed to do is actually just sitting here mostly more concerned about the fact that the thing that needed to really, the whole point of it, because I feel like, again, there's just something about something that, the semantics of something that you were building physically, they didn't ask you to do. And then it looks like maybe those expectations were never getting acknowledged, and then you just started building resentment and projecting onto someone who didn't even, it's like they wouldn't even know, because this motherfucker's like back is turned and they're independent, so they don't know. How could we know that you were trying to do all that, or that you felt all that, or that you wanted all that, or that you've been going that hard? Because it's like no one asked you to do that. It's unfortunate that you put yourself at that disadvantage, because I don't think this person can care that much, and then they get mad when it's like they've had enough of you projecting onto them that they didn't live up to something for you when they didn't ask for this life, I feel like is what they would say. But then the person who really does love you, they are already in this position because they've already reattuned. The way that they found their way back to you is by forgiving themselves. If you're meant for them, you're meant for them. So then the only distance between you being like rejecting them temporarily and the real truth of union is if that they can go into themselves. There's another way to bring you in, is if they heal themselves. You'll realign. It's not chasing them again, it's being remagnetized back to them, because you came out of sync with this person because of the path you went down. You didn't take the path of truth, and that's what the issue is. But you know that now, Capricorn. You know that things only give you all those red flags and horrible feelings and bubble guts, and you're coming home frustrated and you got all these shitty people around you because you're probably not following your path of truth. You're scared to be independently fulfilled. You're scared to be, Capricorn, the only way to walk with your gift, the only way to walk with 9 cups of your own fulfillment is to walk around with discernment. Walk around knowing what you will, what is lose, and what you won't even tolerate. Don't fear it. Don't be scared of what everyone losing could be like. Be aware of how that could happen and then make a choice so that it doesn't. Let's look at the outcome and then we'll get out of here. You know what God's judgment is for you? You are about to be given the wish that you get to have and create whatever you want for surviving this. Because when someone threatens your life, your God's a priority. God shows up to you. God doesn't always answer the phone for every bitch, because some of y'all's requests don't even make sense because you can't read. But there are times when God does go out of the way and protects its anointed, and it looks like someone tried to put their hands on something that really is precious to God. And that is not going to fly. And that is why God is putting you now. That's why the judgment is called, and you get to be this magician energy. And I think you thought you were being punished. I think you thought like, I don't have this, I don't have my material things to worry about right now, I must be being punished. No, you're about to go into your spiritual. You're about to be able to grant wishes, right? Because of 5 of Cups. Because there's something about this where it's like, if they would have just if it's almost like you have good karma because you also genuinely did not have the discernment to know that other person wasn't for you. So that's why God loves you, because look, this is actually very healthy energy. 888 is very healthy energy. This is someone who's like, you were looking at them accurately from the place of like, I know who I am. I know what I'm looking for. They say that they said they marketed themselves as this. I went and signed up. I can't feel that bad. When it all fell apart, Dennis didn't feel that bad at Fresh Monkey, because he's like, well, what did I do wrong? I told you what I want. I want to open my own cafe, so that's why I came here and partnered with you to learn how to do the operational part.
No.
That was simple as that. So that's why Dennis is like gonna get, he, in the end, it's like, well, yeah, because it's like, well, my whole issue though is is if you're not serious about your business, then why don't you just say that instead of like having me sit up here having strokes every day worrying about people's personalities and shit. It's like, that don't make no sense.
Right.
It's not making no sense. So that is why, Capricorn, you're getting this, because this huge, it's a new ability to manifest whatever it is that you want. Why? Because you did this. It's not actually just because this person fucked you over that you can do whatever you want. It's actually because you've been doing this the whole time. While this dynamic's been going out, you've also just gotten dumb good at what you do. That's probably why you can make anything happen now. So, these messages are big messages. I've never quite read such big data in my life. I'm gonna let myself go to sleep right now. Hopefully God's gonna pay me well for that, because I'm sleepy and I gotta go to work tomorrow. So we're in a time. I'm not tired. I'm not gonna be young. Like, I love using my life force energy. I'm so happy to be alive. I'm so blessed to be alive. I'm so blessed to be able to do this work. I prayed for days when there was so much to do and people who were finally revealing themselves and needed my help and were clear and were proud of Tethered Studios and not ashamed of it. So thank you guys again, Capricorns, for being so proud to be in this space. And I hope this reading was super phenomenal. I had the most fun hanging out with you guys. So I love you. Have a great night and happy spring to you.